Hello everybody, welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Now, on my last video I made, where I was at Edgerton Quarry, I mentioned that I'd had some people get in touch with me, and I've had a couple of other messages off other people asking what these people said. Now, when this guy first spoke to me, it was by text and it was a little bit vague, so I managed to talk him into sending me an email to my email address telling me what happened. Now, this is what he sent me, and bear with me, but I'm gonna read it out, and hopefully microphone and everything's picking everything up. So anyway, excuse me, it comes from D. Crompton, and it was the 29th of March 2019, and he says, I think it was a Friday. I decided to get my old air rifle out of the attic and go and have a practice in the quarry. With it being a Friday, there wouldn't be many people around, unlike weekends. It was quite a hot day for that time of the year. Not hot today. It looks like it's hot, but it's not. So I decided to make the most of it. Even though I booked the day off work, I got up early, probably about 8 o'clock. Made a full English, checked the usual online garbage. I'm only 10 to 15 minutes away from Edgerton Quarry, so it's probably getting on for about 10 a.m. It was very quiet, not a soul around. All I could hear was the birds chirping away. Quietly made my way to the centre of the quarry. To be honest, I was hoping I may just get 1 or 2 wood pigeons. Very tasty. Got to a decent spot with the quarry wall in front of me, so I didn't send a pellet flying through the woods. I had some cover from the thin tall trees that grow out of the bottom of the quarry. I sat still and quiet for about 5 to 10 minutes, hoping to see a juicy wood pigeon. Now, for some reason, there was sod all in this part of the quarry, not even the sound of birds. Well, we know what's coming with that. Just to make things clear, the rifle I had was a Webley FX 2000. It's not the type where you break the barrel, but and put a pellet in. It is an air rifle that you pre-charge with a big stirrup pump. It even has a bolt action and a multi-shock circular magazine. It would probably be easier if you Googled the name. Google it. I think I Googled it. I can see what he's on about. Where am I up to? I just Googled the name, that's it. I'm only saying all this because it will become more apparent as I tell you what happened. It was probably several months before I last used the gun, so I knew I was going to be a rubbish shot. Like I said, it was very quiet and nobody around, so I decided to just shoot some targets. Looked around to find some oddly coloured stones or other bits of rocks that were lying around. Then I noticed a very shiny black stone. Thought to myself, that will do the job. Put the rifle to my shoulder and looked through the scope at the shiny stone. At this point, sounded like a gunshot, that. At this point, my brain wasn't making much sense at what I was seeing. The area behind the shiny black stone was moving slowly up and down. It looked like a goat's skin rug that was breathing on its own. Then I realised what it was. The shiny black stone was a nose. Without thinking, I said, "In hell." Not very loud, but loud enough for it to hear. Then the shiny black nose I could see through the scope suddenly had two large eyes, either side and above it. They were looking straight at me. They were the colour of milky off yellow, a bit like when you see a dog that's old and going a bit blind. But this wasn't blind, it definitely saw me pointing a rifle at it. Then it started to get up off the ground. It was a strange movement. Its back legs got up first, and its eyes stayed fixed on me and still, like its chin was glued to the ground. I just panicked, and like an idiot, squeezed the trigger. I couldn't even tell you where the crosshairs were on the animal. But I was obviously in shock, but I definitely hit the damn thing. It sprang to all fours in a blink of an eye. It was that fast. I was now looking through the scope at the gap in the front legs. Right, got you. I moved my chin away from the rifle stock so I could see the whole thing stood there. It looked like an Irish wolfhound, but at least 1.5 feet or 2 foot taller at the back. I'll put a picture up of an Irish wolfhound and you can see what one is if anyone's ever at the back. The fur on its face was short but getting shaggy around the top of the head, down the back to its shoulders, a bit like a lion but not as fluffy. Not sure about the ears, I couldn't really see them, but I'm just guessing they were down because it was angry. But I couldn't be certain. It definitely had a look of an Irish wolfhound. When I was a kid, my uncle had one and he was a gentle giant. That's the closest thing that I could say it looked like. I still had the rifle to my shoulder and I was just staring. I still had the rifle to my shoulder and I was just staring at it and it was staring back at me. Then it began to bare its teeth, just like a dog. And then some sound came from it. It wasn't quite a growl or a bark or a hiss. It was like a long, slow gargle. But I could feel the sound in my jacket and my chest. I wasn't even thinking, probably because of the shock. But my right hand cocked and slid the bolt action of the rifle to load another pellet, and the sound became even more intense. Got more annoyed. Seems like it knows what it is. Then, like an idiot, I squeezed the trigger again. This time there was no reaction whatsoever. Then what felt like minutes but was only a second, it began to walk backwards towards the wall of the quarry. Then I lowered the rifle to my side and I was just stood there gawping at it. And its backside touched the wall of the quarry. Then it instantly rose to its back legs and spun around. Then it climbed up the walls of the quarry, probably about 40 feet. This thing scaled it in about 2 seconds. That's when I noticed that its front legs looked more like arms and hands. I was viewing this with the naked eye. I never had a chance to put the rifle scope back on it. It was just too fast. But to this day, I can tell you it had arms and hands. I just stood there while it disappeared out of sight. I know it sounds like a long time, but I can tell you, all this took about 5 seconds. I've kept this quiet for years, but after viewing some of your videos on YouTube, you seem to be a no-nonsense, just tell me what happened kind of guy. And not full of numbers and statistics. He's got that right, hasn't he? In fact, you remind me of myself. He's a good chap then. If you have any questions, you can contact me through this email. You can use my second name because there are loads of us in and around Bolton. Thanks, D. Second name. What was his second name again? Crompton. So that is one of the emails on that place. There's a couple more. So it's not actually in that place, but very close to it. Not as graphic and as well as good as that, really. But seems like a genuine bloke. I haven't spoke to him on the phone, only through an email, in a text, like I said. But anyway, that encounter with you, and get back to doing a bit of something in the quarry. So, you lot have a great day. Can we hear the pheasants down there? Yeah, you lot have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one. Weather permitting, we'll be in the quarry, and it'll be going a bit dark. So anyway, take care everyone, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye.